The 2020 NBA season is one we will never forget. The long months off between games in the middle of the season due to COVID, and the last games in all of the playoffs played in the bubble. But the one thing I think a lot of us were very interested in was the Battle of LA. Not only did the Clippers lose in the second round to the Nuggets after having a 3-1 series lead, but they also lost in the first round as well, as a lot of people forget. Without Porzingis getting injured, a controversial ejection, and a couple shots going in or not going in, it looked like it was anyone's series. We saw Luka do his magic in the playoff for the first times. The chemistry between the foreign stars was getting better and better. They had the #1 offense in the entire league and the highest offensive rating of any team in NBA history. Luka was head and shoulders the favorite to win the MVP this year, and the Mavericks had officially arrived and looked like everything was set up for this year to be their year. Well, as it stands now, the Mavericks are sitting with a 32-26 record, 7th place in the conference, and strike no real fear to any top seeds to make a push in the playoffs. So what went wrong? In today's video, we're going to cover exactly why the Mavericks have been so underwhelming this year and why they didn't take the jump like a lot of us thought they would. First of all, we need to talk about their front office. There are different levels of teams in the NBA. There's contenders, the almost there, the moratorium hell of low playoff seed but not a top draft pick, and then the bottom. And within these categories are subcategories of being a big market and a small market. So the main problem I have with the Mavericks is the situation they're in with what they did, but more importantly, what they didn't do. They have a young player in Luka Doncic who is a generational type of talent, a 7'3" unicorn to pair him with, and a lot of pieces to make a high-powered offense that ranked first in efficiency, first in three-pointers made, second in field goals made, and first in points. But really held them back in the 2020 season was their Swiss cheese defense, ranking about dead last in the entire league. With almost no chemistry on that side of the ball, they were undersized, lacked physicality, couldn't stick on ball, couldn't make proper switches, and it led to a Congo line for the other team to the rim and wide open three-pointers. And I'm a YouTuber and not an NBA GM, but it makes sense to me that having this generational talent and this juggernaut of an offense, it's the perfect time to chase after a ring and make the moves that would contribute. Find some defensive-minded wings or guards, coaching schemes that take the next step. Well, what they did was they re-signed undersized Trey Burke, a big but wrong generation Willie Cauley-Stein. They undervalued the role of Seth Curry on their team and dealt him off for a trade for Josh Richardson. And Philadelphia 1000% won this trade in hindsight, and now the Mavs are in a predicament. They gave up on Seth Curry, who seemed to be the fire torch for their offense and is now a shell of what it was last year. They are now the middle of the pack offensively with the 10th best offense in the league and still among the worst defensive teams in the entire league. They played it safe and now they're paying the price. It is inexcusable to not do something dramatic after the season the Mavs had. They obviously needed more help defensively, and I think they are doing wrong by Luka this year. So what happened to Luka? The MVP award drives me crazy because it's an award that has a lot to do with narrative, and people will even use this narrative against their better judgment when voting. And going into the season, it was all on Luka. It was really his to lose. So he isn't even in the conversation anymore. And why is that? And surprisingly enough, it doesn't have anything to do with his play at all. He is still averaging almost 29 points a game, which is 3rd in the league. He's 6th in the league in assists with 8.7 in the game, and these are about the same as they were last year, but he's more efficient from the field in 3, and he's been really healthy and only missed a handful of games. So we can say he didn't make the jump from he did the previous year, but he does seem to hit a little bit of a plateau, but near a 30-point triple-double isn't a bad thing to average at all. But once again, in the MVP voters' minds, one thing that is more important than narrative when it comes to voting is team record. They are so stingy about that, with exception to Russell Westbrook in one historic season. So once again, we can point at the front office. It's really hard to blame Luka in any scenario as to why they've been so underwhelming. A player I can point to, though, is Kristaps Porzingis. Although he's having a statistically good year, he's proven that he can't be the reliable second option on a contending team. He is not the dominating big man we saw flashes of and thought he was going to be. He's averaging 20 points on good efficiency, but once again, he's not imposing himself defensively or offensively. Nobody fears him like they should. He plays so passive, and to me, even though he's 7'3", he plays like he's 6'6". So I'm not just here to point out all the flaws going on with the Mavericks, I'm here to give solutions as well. They need another primary ball handler to pair with Luka that can run the offense. Not because Luka can't do it, it's because he needs a break. He has to create all the offense all by himself. They need defensively minded people, and they should target people like Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Covington, who are elite 3-and-D guys, and guys like these in general. They need to give up on the Porzingis dream that he's a number 2 option. He can be a great number 3 option on a contending team, but you can't count on him health-wise, and if his outside shot isn't falling, I don't trust him as much in the playoff physicality inside the arc. The Mavericks are closer than people think, and they can go on the court and beat really, really good teams pretty handily, but their weaknesses cause for a lot of questionable losses to some very poor teams that contending teams just don't lose to. Let me know what you guys think. Should they be more aggressive this offseason and sell out for the short-term future? I think they have a false sense of patience because Luka is so young, but Luka is the guy right now, and their championship window was opening and they let it close right in front of them from being passive. Make sure to like the video if you like videos like these. Make sure to comment what you think the Mavericks should do. Do you think they're really close? After what I saw in the playoffs last year, I really think they could have won that Clippers series. I think it was anyone's series. It was a lot closer than people think. I think they should have been a lot more aggressive in the offseason, going for big trades and not giving away one of their best 3-point shooters. That's not what they needed to do. What do you think the Mavericks should do? Because right now, this just isn't their year. It's not going to happen. And make sure to subscribe if you enjoy daily basketball content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace!